So in your previous class, we have discussed about DHCP, like how we can configure DHCP in Cisco routers, and router redundancy protocol. Like if I have only one gateway, single point of failure, to eliminate single point of failure, backup device you have used. So router 1, router 2, two routers. When we have the multiple routers, gateway issue will become. So to manage that gateway, have a protocol called HSRP protocol. So HSRP protocol combines two or more multiple routers into one virtual router, active and standby model. A router with highest priority will be active router. Router with second highest priority will be standby. Active router actively forward uses traffic, and standby is a backup for active. Whenever active is down, then standby router will take the role of active and forward the user's traffic. So these things we have seen, and floating static route. So floating static route used when primary route is not available by configuring of higher administrative distance than primary route. Okay. And today let me continue with local database authentication concept. So let me draw the diagram first. Say Office ABC, total there are 100 routers. If you can hear me?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Madhu, can you hear me, Madhu? Right. Office ABC has 100 routers. Now we need to manage these 100 routers. To manage these 100 routers, let we have, as for example, we have 20 engineers, 20 members, network engineers. Now this is the topology. Router 1, router 2, router 3, like number of routers. All are connected, like laser line, whatever the connectivity we have, they're connected. I'm just writing in here in the LAN. So router names are router 1, router 2, router 3, router 100. Router 100 routers is there. Now, how many employees in our office ABC? 20 engineers. Just use a 1. The router 1 IP address 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, all are in 192.168.1.0 network /24 network. The same diagram let we design in packet tracer. R1, 2, 3, 4. Connector switch. End user 1, end user 2. Connected to switch. Okay. First, router 1 configuration. I'm just writing the host name and assigning IP address to LAN interface. We can configure, like when we are configuring the same configuration in multiple routers, then we can take a notepad. Can just write the commands in the notepad and we can copy and paste in the routers, like a host name, interface IP address, no shutdown. Like this. Now host name is router 2, IP address is 1.2. And here you can exit WR. This program have copied and it will log into router 2. You can just paste here what is the copied configuration. Yes. Configuration is done in one shot. Like router 2, IP address assigned, host name is assigned, and configuration is been saved, WR. Now in router 3, you can just change here R3, IP address 1.3. Enable. In config mode, you can just paste it. Configuration is done in router 3. And router 4, last router. Just let me change R4, 1.4, copy paste. Right. In all routers, we have configured the basic configuration only, which is host name and IP address. That's it. Okay. So as per our basic fundamental rule is what? Your LAN user should be in the same network. So I'm using 1.10. So LAN user 192.168.1.10. Now if you try to check communication, network reachability by using ping command 1.1, yes, I can reach to 1.1. But my question is how I can log into 1.1? How I can log in means telnet. Can use telnet to 1.1? Not possible. Because of in router 1, we just assign the host name and IP address only. In router 1, VTY telnet is not enabled. How to enable telnet? VTY password. Like how to configure VTY password line VTY 024 means 5 sessions and password something CCNA
Login.
login. Yeah, let me do that now. in R1 router. Config mode. Line VTY 0 space 4 means 5 sessions. Password CCNA login. Enable password CCNA like. Now have configured telnet password. Now if you try to check login telnet from the PC, it's asking the password CCNA. Now we got access to router in privileged mode. So this we know already, right? Yeah.
Yes.
But my question is now, how many employees in your office? 20 engineers, right?
29.
Yeah. How many sessions we have created?
5.
5.
5.
Of course, we can create more also, like 20 engineers, 0 to 19. If we create, 20 will come. At 0 to 99, you can configure. 0 to 999, 919 also can configure. It depends upon the hardware. There's no problem actually. Like consider 0 to 19 you have configured. Example, you have configured what? 0 to 19. So 0 to 19 means how many sessions?
20.
20, not 20 employees. So my question is here, first employee is logged into router 1 and R1 is asking the password. What is the password for first user? What's the login password?
CCNA.
CCNA. Okay. Now second employee is trying to log in to router 1. What is the login password for second employee?
CCNA.
CCNA. For third employee, fourth engineer, fifth engineer,
Yeah,
like
0
for
to 19.
20 engineers, same password. So line VTY 0 to 19 is like 20 sessions. Password is CCNA, right?
Yeah.
So it's a common password for 20 engineers. Then how we can differentiate which user is being logged in into the router? User 1 is login, user 2 is login, user 4, like after 20 users, which user is being logged in? Like in our team, we have a example Ranjan Das, like Naveen, Madhu, Mahesh, Nishant. Like it's all our team. Like which employee has been logged into our R1? Madhu is login, or Mahesh is login, or Nishant is login. Who is login? So for all the employees, common password is CCNA, right? Problem. Point number two is, now if we create only the password, now for some attackers will be easily can attack your router because of it's simple. The task is attacker is what only have to be try the password. That's it. So instead of simple password, we can create username and password also for each employee. We can create the credentials for every users. So and so Mahesh username and Mahesh password. No Nishant username password. Like for each and employee, we can create what separate credentials. Like how to create that, we see it now. Username space Mahesh. Password space MAH at 2021. So one username is created. Username. Like number of usernames we can create. Username. Naveen. Password. NAV at 2021. Like we're creating usernames for your all 20 employees. So for every employee, have creating username and respect to passwords actually.
So they can log in from any PC, no?
Any PC, yes. After creating the password, username and passwords, now if you try to log in once again, say before if you log in, it's asking just a password only, right? Now if you try to log in once again, telnet, still it is asking only the password. After creating username and passwords also, it's just asking what user password only. Why? Because of username, password is just a creation only, but username is not activated. So what is the command to activate?
Enable.
Line VTY. Login is the command to activate the password, but we need require to activate username also. Na? So login local command you need to be execute. Okay. Yeah. Now if we try once again, telnet 1.1. What is asking? No, device asking is what? User access verification. Username is asking, right? So now which users can access router now? Which users can access router now? I mean, can log in router now? Only
Naveen and Mahesh.
Mahesh and Naveen. Because of Mahesh and Naveen database is available in router 1. Let me try with now. So telnet, Naveen, enter, password, NAV at 2021, have access. Similarly, again telnet, Mahesh also can be logged in, have access. So because of Naveen and Mahesh username is available inside the router, right? Database is available, local database authentication. But in our example, how many employees we have in our company to manage the 100 routers of ABC company?
20.
20. So then what we need to do for all 20 employees need to be create usernames and password. Mahesh, Naveen, Suresh, Rajesh, Ramesh, Vinesh. Like we have created all 20 employees. Username and passwords. In which router?
R1.
R1 router. Yeah, these database information I have created in R1 router. Now, all 20 employees can able to log in with router 1 with securely because of it is asking username and passwords. So these database information is we have created in R1 router. Now what about R2 router? How these 20 engineers can log into R2? So the same database need to be replicated, means need to be copied, means need to be configured in R2 router also. All 20 usernames and password in R2. All 20 usernames password in R3. All 20 usernames and R4, R5. Like Office ABC, how many routers is there?
100.
100 routers. So we need to be configure all the database in 100 routers. This is a major problem with local database authentication. So if creating usernames and passwords is good, secured. Every employee have one credential, secured. But the point is what? In multiple times, in multiple replication is required. Multiple routers. Okay, you have spent a very good time when you have created all 100 routers and you have saved the configurations. Okay. The point is, again, after a few months, Mr. Suresh is being resigned in my Office ABC company. He left from my company. Then what we need to do? Remove username of Suresh. In which router?
All routers.
In router 1, login and no Suresh. Router 2, no Suresh. Router 3, no Suresh. Router 4, router 5. Like how many routers we have? 100 routers. Okay, after a few days, in Suresh place, Naresh is being joined. Then what we need to do?
100 routers.
Now create a credentials, like create a username and password for Naresh in all 100 routers. So this is a major problem in local database authentication. Creating of username and password is good, but point is what will to be created and will to be modified, will to be managed in 100 times and 100 routers. So which is not scalable. Really, it's not scalable in real time actually, you know. You know what we'll do in the real time is we don't configure usernames and password in routers because we have a problem in local database authentication, right? Then we're going to create a usernames and password in external server. We are not creating the usernames inside the router, guys. Because of I have explained clearly the problem. Then what I'm doing is this all the usernames and passwords and I have created in server, external server. Say password is says username and password 123 321. Just for example, I'm writing some passwords. 213 312, like something. So this database I have configured in external server. The server IP address 192.168.1.123. Right. Now Mr. Naveen want to log into R1. So he's doing now telnet. Telnet 1.1, router 1 IP address. Router 1 will ask the username and password. So what is the username now? Naveen is the username. Password is what for Naveen? 321. But what he's doing is he's trying to execute 123, wrong password. Now this request will come to router. What router will do? Do you have router database is not available, right? Now what router is doing is just wait. I will check with my server. So router will send the request to server. So know what server will do? Server will implement the method of called authentication. The server will implement authentication. Authentication is the method of identifying the users based upon the username and passwords. So now what server is doing is okay. So Mr. Naveen is trying to log in. Let me check with my database. Yeah, username is okay. Username is matching, right? For that Naveen username password is what? 123 user is entered, but in database is what? 321. Now server will give the reply to R1. No, it is unauthorized user. Maybe it is a hacker. Don't allow to access this. Password is not matching. The router 1 will deny it. So now Naveen is entering the proper password. It is a password 321. Again, request will come to R1. Now R1 will send the request to server. Server implement what method is what? Authentication method. We'll check the database. Password, now username is okay, password is okay. Now your server will reply back to router. Yes, he's a authorized user. He can allow to log in. Then only Naveen will get R1 user mode, you know, and enable and privilege mode, whatever will get logged in actually. So every user will access the router through this authentication method. Means every user login has to hit to this external server, an authentication method. Okay, Naveen has been logged in. Now my question is, guys, to manage 100 routers in Office ABC, we have how many employees? 20 engineers, right? Now for all 20 engineers, do you have the same job role? Same position? Is it, what do you say? No, there will be junior engineers, there will be senior engineers, no, the trainers, under trainers, different roles will be available. Example, Navin is a trainer. No, he is under training actually. He's a training now. L1 position. So when we are creating a username and password at the same time, we can set privilege levels also. For each employee, we can set what privilege levels? Like L1 privilege, level 2 privilege, level 2 4 privilege. Like highest level is level 15 privilege levels. If it's a level 1 privilege, so all commands will not be executed. Very few things can be executed. Even if you are in the privilege mode also, like all commands will not be executed because of privilege levels is being configured. So Navin is a L1. Now what Navin is doing is he's trying to erase flash. This command is executing erase flash command. So when he's doing some erase flash command, then what router will do is no, wait, let me check with my server. I can't allow you all the commands. Let me check with my server. Now router will send the request to server. What server will do? Now server will implement one more method called authorization. So first method is what? Authentication, right? Now it's going to implement authorization. Authentication. Authorization. So authorization is a method of identifying what a user can do, what level privileges has been configured. Authentication is identifying the users based upon the user IDs and passwords. Authorization is what? So and so user what level privileges means what he can do. These things has been undergoing actually authorization. So in authorization, what is Navin will do? L1 engineer. So this command is not executable. R1 will give server will give reply to R1. No, don't allow this command. Router will deny it. Now Navin will understand. Oh, I'm a L1 position, so I can't do these activities. So he'll stop erasing the flash. And what Navin can do? Show commands like what is the network status, these things will be can do, right? So now what he is doing is he is executing some show flash and show IP interface brief. These commands has been executed for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. He's doing some monitoring and he exit from the router. The point is Navin from which computer he log into R1? He log into 1.10 PC or 1.20 PC or 1.30 PC. Which computer he log into R1? At what time? At what date? From which source computer he log in? After login, what are the activities is being done by Navin? Like he doing erase flash and he's doing a show flash and show IP interface brief. So after login that, he's doing the telnet and is all the activities will be recorded in your server.
Log report, I think.
Yeah, log reports. So this process we call accounting. So this server we call the AAA server. So we have a problem in local database authentication. What is username passwords are created on the device? It provides a better security than simple password, but problem is what? Implementing in multiple services and multiple routers need to be configured. That is the local database needs to be replicated in all network devices. Better and scalable solution to use what? AAA server. In
Always
AAA, what is the first A?
authentication,
Authentication. Next A?
authorization,
Authorization. Next A?
account,
Accounting. So what is the first A will do? Authentication means what?
user verification.
User verification based upon the user IDs and passwords. So authentication is a method of identifying the users. Next, authorization means what?
Access level.
A privilege level, what a user can do, right? So authorization
Authorizing the data.
is a method of controlling access to what a user can do. Next, accounting.
Activity, collecting activity.
Activities, collecting the information, what he done or what he activities is done. So it is very useful for sending security server information for billing, auditing, and reporting purpose. So every user, whatever 20 employees in your company, so every users will go these 3 actions every time. So you don't think so in real time I log into my router. So no one will knows that so and so time I have login and I have tried to configure RIP protocol. No, no. The point is every login is being in the backend recorded because of you are trying to access the router with a AAA server. So every session is going under authentication, authorization, and accounting. Then only can access actually, no? Yeah.
Balu,
Yeah, please.
from PC1 we're directly trying to telnet with 1.1 router 1.
Yeah.
Then how the router will forward this authentication is valid or not to the server? How the router will forward to the
We
server?
need to be configure AAA configurations in all routers.
Okay.
When to tell to router, whenever login is there, you send the request to server that configurations are required. In all routers, when to be configured AAA.
Okay.
If we configure AAA, then router will send the request to AAA. So we need to tell R1, your AAA server IP address is 1.123. This configuration is required in all routers. So whenever request will come, we'll send the request to 1.123 device. In 1.123, we have what? AAA authentication is there actually.
Balu, one question, quick question, Balu.
Yeah.
This triple A authenticating server.
Yeah.
Or the device, is it proprietary to Cisco or it can be on any device? And is it's a piece of software that just be installed?
Yeah, AAA is just a process. See, this is not a protocol actually. This is a process.
Okay.
So AAA
Okay,
means what?
this
Authentication,
application.
authorization. Yeah, application.
So
So
this
application will be work that is 2 protocols is it. One is TechArcs and one is Radius. So one is a Cisco proprietary, one is open standard. 2 protocols is there for AAA authentication.
but again, this server that we are talking about, is it proprietary to Cisco or it can be on any of the physical Windows servers installed in my organization?
Yeah, any device you can use Linux machine, you can use a Windows machine, any machine you can use for the source. A machine
Which
can be any machine.
which database will it use?
Yeah. So what is the protocol you are installing that server? You have a 2 protocols in AAA. One is Radius and one is TechArcs. So that software, that application will be installed in your Windows machine or Linux machine. If in a company all routers are Cisco routers, then TechArcs you can configure. Or you have a Cisco and non-Cisco device also, better go for Radius. These protocols we have actually. Standardized authentication methods are Radius and TechArcs. Okay. Yeah, let's see these triple authentication protocols are TechArcs and Radius, 2 protocols, triple protocols. Triple is just a method. So terminal access control system, which is Cisco proprietary. Remote access dialer in user service, which is open standard. So what is the difference is TechArcs uses TCP as transport layer. In transport layer, TCP, it works under TCP. Means 3-way handshake process, reliable, connection oriented, these things. If the Radius, UDP, faster, like when user is trying to log in, check the database and immediately give the reply. transport. Here is UDP protocol. Do you remember, guys, TCP UDP differences? TCP is a three-way handshake process. In TCP three-way handshake process, what is the first packet?
SYN.
Synchronized packet. Yeah, SYN. Second packet?
SYN plus acknowledge.
SYNAC. Synchronized acknowledgement. Right, Mahesh. Third packet is
Acknowledge.
acknowledgement. So once three-way handshake process is done, now between the source and device, a connection will be established. Then data is being transmitted. Very good. So this is TCP three-way handshake process. If you go for interviews, surely they'll ask you about TCP three-way handshake processing and what are the packets is been exchanging. Okay, right. In TechArcs, encrypts the entire communication. So if you use TechArcs for your AAA, your communication. So Mr. Navin is login and he done the usernames and passwords. Erase. These all the communication is being encrypted. Complete encryption is encrypted from user to router, router to server. Everything is being encrypted. If it's a radius, it encrypts passwords only. But the passwords is encrypted. And TechArcs treats authentication is separately, authorization is separately, accountability is separately. Three different actions will be separately. You can do it. Radius combines authentication and authorization. So this is a major difference between TechArcs and Radius. Next is configuration. So this configuration need to be configured in all routers. All 100 routers, we need to be enabled this configuration. AAA new model, TechArcs server host means server IP address 1.123. Server IP address is 1.123. And TechArcs server key, secret key. So we need to write some keys, means password. Why password is required? What is AAA server IP address?
1.123.
1.123. Now in AAA, which users is available? Like all your 20 engineers and passwords and privilege levels. Level 1 privilege, level 2 privilege, and Ramesh level 15 privilege. Like privileges is configured. Database is there. You know
So
what hackers? Yes, please.
can users can same way can tell it to the server also, no? Tell it that server IP.
Why you need to tell it to server?
For accessing, how they accessing AAA server?
Directly with the server. Like server access we have, it's a computer, it's just a device, machine. This server means a computer. Whatever the Windows machine,
Yeah.
you can log in.
Okay.
Yeah. See, in real time, what will happen is, so some hackers will create a fake AAA server. The same IP address, 1.123. And he's connected to our network. What hacker is doing is, he will create database. So hacker database, what he is doing is, he will create username is ABC and password is 123. Privilege level is level 15. Let's create it. It is connected network. Now what hacker is doing is, he will telnet 1.1. He'll ask the username, he'll ask the password. As a username, he trying with ABC. Password is 123. Now request will come to R1. Now what R1 will do? The R1 we have created, your AAA server is 1.123. We have configured now. What R1 will do? That request, instead of sending to your genuine server, it may be chances to send to fake server. So request will come to hacker server. Now what hacker server is their database? Yes, ABC is available. 123 is available. Level privilege what? Level 15. Now hacker will got complete control of R1. So how your router can come to know, so in our network, which is a genuine server, so which is a authorized server. So now we need to recreate some keys actually, password. In R1, AAA server key is a CCNA have created key. Now in AAA server also I have to create CCNA. So whenever the key is matching, then R1 will understand, yes, this is my genuine server, will send the request to this server only. Then how hacker knows about what are the keys we have created in your routers? So this is like secured. So to avoid this type of attacks, the fake servers, we need to create keys. That's the point here. TechAx server key can use the key. And is the command to enable TechAx. AAA authentication login default group TechAx local. Let me try to execute this configuration in all routers. First, initially, let me configure in R1 router. Config mode, AAA, new model. Next, I have to create what? TechAx server host. TechAx server host server IP address. So we need server in your network. Let me use a server. I'm adding a server. And this server IP address, as per our example, 1.123. The services, which services would you need? AAA. AAA is off. Connected, switch it on. Yeah, Prashant, the server hacker can be connected through wireless also, wired also, whatever. It's the source of the hacker. It can be however it can be connected. Or the chances is there, sources is there. He will connect through wireless network also, through Y network also. He'll connect. Yeah. Now, what is server IP address here? TechAx server host space server IP address 192.168.1.123. Next, TechAx server key. I'm writing Zoom 1. I can enable AAA. AAA authentication, login, default group, TechAx local. So these configuration need to be configured in all routers, all 4 routers. If we try to configure, so we have an option, right? Whenever the same configuration you want to do in multiple routers, you can use Notepad, right? So same server IP address, and Let me change the key, Zoom 2, so second router. Copy it and log into R2. Enable config mode. Here you can just paste it. Done. For router 2 key is what? Zoom 2. For R1, Zoom 1. Next, router 3 key. Zoom 3. In R3, config mode. You can just paste it. And router 4. And just change the key. Again, copy it. Log into R4. Yes. So AAA configuration is done in all 4 routers. Now server configuration means in server we have to create username and passwords, right? So 2 configurations you have to do. One is network configuration and user setup. Click on server. Yeah, here network configuration and user setup. So user setup means what? Your 20 engineers employees username like a Mahesh. Password is MAH at 123 and add it. Rajesh RHA at 123 add Naresh 123. Like we are adding all the 20 employees database here. Okay, now client means network configuration. Client name is router name. Client IP is router IP. Secret key for router. What is the key we have created? That key and service server type. So how many clients we have? I mean, how many routers we have? 4 routers. First router client means what is the host name of router? R1. First router. First router IP 1.1. What is the key? Zoom 1. Server type have configured Redis or TechX?
Okay.
TechX. Add it. So one client is been added. Next client. Router 2. IP address 1.2. Key Zoom 2. Add it. Like R3. 192.168.1.3. Secret key Zoom 3. Server type is TechX. Like all the routers we can set up here actually. Yes. So network configuration is done and user configuration is done. Now users can able to log in routers with this authentication, centralized database authentication. So on user. Which users can log in now? Database available. What are the users database available in server? That users only can be logged in. Example, Mahesh, Rajesh, Naresh can log in. From any computer. 192.168.1.1. It is asking username, Naresh. Password, NAR at 123. So we got access. So this user access undergoing for AAA action. So authentication, authorization, and accounting. These things will be going on this server actually. So like this, we can understand AAA.
But on the server, the passwords are not encrypted.
Say server's password is not encrypted.
No,
When
inside
the
the server. When you open the server,
yeah.
in that server, the username and the password is visibly seen.
Yes. When the user is trying to access the router, that communication has been encrypted. So server,
No,
where is server? Server is somewhere in the network. The different offices. You don't think so? This is the one LAN. Generally, this is
no.
R1 in one
But
branch. Yeah.
but if I take control of this server, I'll get access to all these users.
Yes, of course, you can take the access if you take the control of
Okay.
server. So taking the
Okay.
access of server is not a simple matter now. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But what we have option is this user, when he is logged into router, that transaction, that communication is encrypted. Okay.
Balu, here now in router, once you enable the triple A means, then there is no need to add this user information in router.
Yes.
Only server you need to add, then it will replicate in all routers.
Not replicating. If request will go router, router will send the request to AAA server. In AAA, will authentication done and give the reply. So we don't have any database in routers.
What if the network is down?
Yeah, that is a good question. Now, what if network is down, or what if server is down? You know, or server to server network, server link is down. Then how users can log in? So for that, what we need to do means at least we need to be maintain one username in each router. 20 usernames, 30 usernames instead of that. At least one username if we create and save the configuration, that user can log in and create the remaining users if it is a down. In very rare cases. So for that, what we need to do, minimum at least one username and password need to be created and saved in all routers. So if we have a database in a router, at least one username, that user can log in whenever it is not available.
Is there any Active Directory integration with this?
It is most similarly Active Directory now.
Okay.
The protocol which is Kerberos and AAA,
Yeah,
Redis and
yeah.
TechArch comes under this category only, centralized database authentication.
Yes, yes.
So the Active Directory is for Windows users. In the domain, in Windows domain, the users can get authentication from Active Directory. This is network users.
True.
Yeah. So these are about AAA. There's the configuration commands. So what is the advantage is every user can go under these three actions: secured and centralized database. Flexibility is increased. So we need to be create the multiple times and multiple routers. Only in one centralized maintenance. You can remove
Is this,
Suresh here. We can add here. That's it.
is this applicable even for the switches and the other components of Cisco?
All networking devices.
Oh, okay.
Right. Let me continue with next scenario. So let me talk about between the two routers, between the two offices. One is in Chennai and one is in Bangalore. Geographically different locations. Like how to connect two sites. What connectivity, what type of connectivity, what type of technology we use generally between the two sites. What type of network access we required?
fiber network.
Yeah, it can be laser line. Remember we discussed broadband service, laser line, WAN technologies, frame relay, MPLS. So it can be any service provider. Through service provider network, we are connected. The type of technology can be anything. It can be MPLS domain. It can be a laser line. It can be a broadband internet, normal internet services, whatever, right? Example, I'm using a internet services through connecting my Office 1 to Office 2. So how internet connectivity is? Router to which device? Yes, please.
ISP.
ISP. Good. So router to your local service provider. Local service provider. Like all service providers are connected to
Network.
network. Which network it is? Public network. Yeah, it is your local ISP and it is your local ISP. From where? From serial interface. Here also serial interface 01. So this setup and this connectivity we know already, right? And one more point is how these branch 1 LAN users and branch 2 LAN users can forward the traffic. I mean, how they can communicate, what need to be configured. Routing.
Routing table.
Yeah, routing is it can be statically or you can do that or RIP or OSPF. It can be any routing. For example, I have configured OSPF in site 1, OSPF in my site 2, two offices. Now, once you've enabled OSPF, now site 1, site 2, will they communicate?
Yes.
Yes, they can, right? Because of protocol is enabled. Do you remember exactly how OSPF works? OSPF 7 states we discussed clearly. OSPF neighbor down, neighbor initial, neighbor two-way. No, OSPF will form the neighbor by sending a hello packets. And hello packet parameter has to be matched, area ID, network ID, long back. We have discussed now, remember? What do you say, guys? Yeah. So OSPF will send what? Hello packet first. It has to form the neighbor table. Once neighbor table is being formed, then only database is being exchanged. So blindly directly will not send the hello packet now. Database. It's just forming the neighbor. What do you mean by neighbor? Neighbor means what, guys?
The router directly connected to.
The device which is directly connected. So now your site 1 means router 1 is sending a OSPF hello packet to router 2 or it's sending hello packet to ISP. So the device which is directly connected, that is the neighbor. So for R1 which is the directly connected ISP router, so it's sending hello packet to ISP. So ISP may be running the OSPF, may not be running the OSPF. And how R1 ISP will form the neighbor? Even ISP, we don't require a neighbor relation. You know why? If ISP is the neighbor, then ISP has very huge update. That update will send to our router. Our router cannot be managed that actually. All public different customers networks also is sending to our network. Problem. So these hello packet we need to send to router 2. So I need a neighbor of Bangalore router 2. But somewhere in the router, in between we have a lot of routers is there. ISP router, internet network routers is there. So how we can send this hello packet to router 2? One and only option is we need one physical connectivity directly from R1 to R2. Then you can send hellos and can form the neighbor. Is it really possible, guys? to make a physical connection from R1 to R2. R1 is in India, R2 is in US. How can make? It's not possible. So physically is not possible, like virtually is possible. So what we're doing is connectivity is okay. So physically connect to ISP, ISP to public network ISP and our WAN port. So physically is okay. On top of that, we are creating a virtual link from R1 serial to R2 serial. So R1 serial is my source and this one end it is connecting to R2 is my destination. So creating is what? Virtual interfaces. That virtual interface we call tunnel interface. So on top of this serial port, source of the serial is my source. In here I have created one tunnel 1 T1 and here also T2 tunnel 2. Number can be any number. So T1 is my source, T2 is destination. In this direction T2 is my source, T1 is the destination. Like I have created tunnels. Now R1 R2 directly connected. So R1 and R2 is directly connected to wish interface via wish interface. Tunnel. Exactly. Now if we send a hello packet, OSPF hello packet. Now OSPF hello packet is coming from via tunnel interface. It come to ISP. What ISP will do? Oh, this hello is not for me because of traffic using with a virtual interface. So all virtual interface with all public routers is passing on. When reach to T2, yes, I am your destination. You'll accept it and form the neighbor with OSPF and they'll extend the database and communication is started. So this is how exactly your all branches are connected. So they are physically through service point and through public network is connected. On top of that, every branch to branch, every site to site, they have created virtual links also. If you take example of banking sectors, railway department, so they have a different sites in all over India wide. So how they are connected physically, they are connected to through service provider network. On top of the network engine is created what tunnel interfaces. Okay, virtual links are connected, but communication how? Means data traffic. So ultimately data traffic is going by ISP. ISP to public network. The public network hackers will be available. What hackers will do? Will capture your data and open that. So data is not secured. So when your data will be secured, what will you do?
Enable encryption.
Encryption. Your data should be encryption. Okay, enable encryption. Now once your data is encrypted, now R1, R2 will communicate securely or not? What do you say, guys? Says smartphone A, smartphone B, two smartphones. Now they want to chatting with the WhatsApp, both sides. See, smartphone A, smartphone B is they have a separate any internet link for WhatsApp? No. How they're connected? So smartphone A is connected to mobile data, local. There are some location in Hyderabad. Smartphone B is in US. Here local service provider. Here local service provider. And they're connected to public domain, means internet. And they are chatting with WhatsApp. So this chatting is a private chatting or public chatting?
Private. It is
Private.
encrypted at the application level. Yeah.
Yes, why it is a private? Because of end-to-end encryption. Completely the chatting is encryption, right? If it's encryption means it's a private. But how they are connected? They have any private link here? No, the
No,
connectivity is what?
public.
Public. But shorting is what?
Private.
Private. How it can possible means because of what? Encryption. So once your data is encryption means it's a private network. So finally, how your R1, R2 they are connected is by using the network called what? Virtual private network.
This is a open standard connectivity, right?
VPN, yes, open standard. So a lot of times we used to hear VPN, right? What is VPN exactly means? The combination of tunnel and encryption. So every site to site, there are virtual links is there to make the routers are directly connected. But how physically connected? In between, there are a lot of routers and ISP routers and public routers. But virtually, they are directly connected. Okay, tunnels is okay. And data encryption, then private network. So VPN creates a private communication channel over a public network. The best example is this is your smartphone A and you are trying to access your bank server. Your bank server is providing you a separate internet for the access the bank server? No, right? Just a minute. Yeah, so here smartphone A and bank server. So how you access your net bankings? We are using your normal mobile data or you're using your public Wi-Fi, right? Your local Wi-Fi. So you have connected to your local service provider only. The local service provider connect to internet. Internet connect to bank server. So means you are accessing your net banking or any transaction websites through what? Public domain.
Tunnel.
Yeah, public domain. So your traffic is going by public only, but it's secured. Why it is secured? Your bank server is enabled VPN. And your mobile phone, what are the apps you're using to access your bank website? Your bank application or your normal web browser. So every web browsers and bank apps is being developed with a VPN connection section. So when you open the bank website, you have establishing a virtual link from banks or to mobile phone and your data is encrypted. So means we have a private communication channel over the public network which is created by VPN. Okay, so VPN is a combination of tunnel and encryption. What VPN will do, it provides a private communication channel over the public network, provides security from end to end, provides point-to-point connectivity and scalability. Hence we can use VPN connections, VPN for small, medium, large, any type of networks, it can be compatible. Like have three offices, Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, are connected to commonly for public network, internet. If they connect to internet, if something is data exchanging, not secured, then what we need to do? We are creating one tunnel, one virtual link from one side to another side. And data is coming from the through tunnels and your data is encrypted. So when data is moving on the tunnel links, someone is being captured that if try to open, they need a passwords. Okay, he break the password. Inside the data is encrypted. Then what hacker will do? He will try to decrypt, but it cannot be supported actually. So we'll see which VPN features, how it works. So data confidentiality, data privacy means what? Encrypted. Authentication, every packet, every data is being passwords protection. And data integrity, the data cannot be modified. Anti-replay, these all VPN features can be supported. So it provides very strong security. Types of VPN, GRE VPN, IPsec VPN, SSL VPN, and DM VPN. So we have GRE VPN. We'll see about GRE VPN. In advanced cyber security level classes, we'll get complete about IPsec VPN. So in real time, we use IPsec. All VPN types will use different platforms actually. But in IT commercially, we use IPsec and DM VPN and GRE. For mobile applications, these things SSL VPN. Generic routing encapsulation. See, GRE is a tunneling protocol. GRE is just only support for what? Tunneling protocol only. GRE does not support encryption. So it's a tunneling protocol that was originally developed by Cisco. But what is the major advantage of GRE? It provides tunneling of non-IP traffic also, means IPF, IPX traffic, Apple Talk, and multicast traffic, which is not done by IPsec. The major drawback of GRE is what? GRE provides only tunneling without any encryption. IPsec will do that. IP means Internet Protocol Security. So it can support very strong encrypted algorithms. And they used to exchange initially the private keys, public keys, those things. IPsec. So which is not done by GRE, but GRE can support non-IP traffic also for tunneling. In our example, from R1 to R2, we configured protocol is what? OSPF, right? But GRE recommends to use static routing. So static route should be configured towards remote LAN network via terminal interface. Can use any protocol, but GRE recommends to use what? Static route. See the configuration of GRE, how to create the tunnels.
Balu, you're telling non-IP traffic. What does that non-IP traffic mean?
We have routed protocols. Remember network protocols?
Yeah.
Routing protocols and
Routing
routed
and
protocol.
yeah.
The routed protocol used to the data carry. So routed protocols are IP, IPX, Apple Talk. These all are routed protocols. So IPX will works in only novel devices. Apple Talk will works in only Apple devices.
Okay.
So IP is open, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Now GRE can support for non-IP traffic also. Means non-IP is what? IPX, Apple Talk also can be supported. It is non-IP traffic.
Okay.
Let me see how to create the tunnels. Let me create a tunnel interface between R1 to R2. Show IP interface brief. Serial 000, already 1.1.1 is their IP address. Serial 0/0/0. Existing IP address, which is provided by ISP, it is a 1.1.1.1. In other side, in router 2, S0001, which is provided by ISP 1.1.1.2. Now we need to create tunnel. What is the source? S00 is my source. So interface tunnel 1. And we are creating some IP address. It can be any IP address. We are creating some IP address. Let me example 10.0.0.1. In tunnel 2, 10.0.0.2. So in R1 router, interface tunnel number 1, IP space address 10.0.0.1 along with your subnet mask. What is the tunnel source? Where we are creating tunnel in R1 router.
0/0.
What's the tunnel source?
0. Yes. 0.
WAN port. So tunnel source is S0/0/0. And what is your tunnel destination?
0/1.
Yes, 0.
Which router 0/1?
R2.
That we know, but how router knows that? ISP 0/1 or public router 0/1 and again ISP route. So we cannot use destination is serial interface, which is
Okay.
a public IP. Unique IP should be defined public IP. What is the public IP here?
1.1.
1.1.1.2. This is your destination. Source is this and destination is this. Okay. Because of destination, if you write serial 001, that we know based upon the diagram. But where it is going to link up to the which interface 0/1B can be number of routers now. So the unique public IP how to use here. Actually. Now tell me about router 2 configuration, interface tunnel number 2 and IP address 10.0.0.2 255.0.0. What is the tunnel source? S001 source. What is tunnel destination? S destination
1.1.
1.1.1. Perfect. Unique IP of public. That's it. Then between R1, R2, a virtual tunnel interface is being will come up. Virtual link is being created. So in between there are number of router also it cannot be considered. So routers will feel we are directly connected now. In between there are 20 routers or 30 routers, doesn't matter actually. Okay. It's in R1 interface tunnel number 1 IP space address 10.0.0.1 255.0.0.0 tunnel source serial 0/0/0 tunnel destination 1.1.2. So now have you seen interface tunnel change state to up and protocol is also up. Okay. Like we can create an interface. So is R1 and do exit. In router 2. Interface tunnel number 2. IP address 10.0.0.2 255.0.0. Null source serial 0.0.0.1. Tunnel destination 1.1.1. So even yeah, it is router 2 configuration. So is router 2 configuration, right? So source is 1. Perfect. Now if we check the verification command, show interface tunnel. Show interface tunnel number 1. And tunnel 1 is up, line protocol is up. And your encapsulation is tunnel encapsulation, and the GRE, the protocol, tunnel protocol is GRE. So where tunnel source and where is the destination is clearly defining here actually. And for encryption, we required what? IPsec VPN. Those are the different actually. This is just tunneling protocol we have configured. It's clear?
IPsec also the authentication is same, or it's the entire concept is different?
The concept is a different actually. This concept means virtual link is there. Overall, what you have to understand between the two sides, we need a virtual link. This is a must mandatory. Virtual link is there.
True.
For encryption purpose, we use the different algorithms. In IPsec, we have a
Okay.
different type of algorithm. That is only the point actually.
Okay.
So we can configure these tunnels in routers also, in firewalls also. Okay, which is VPN. Any more doubts? All right, this is all about for today. AAA local database authentication and AAA authentication we have seen, and VPN tunneling GRE protocol we have seen, and the next Monday we'll continue with some more advanced security related topics. Thank you.